Hi, this is Prac with iRepairMD. Today we have a LG Flex and it has a cracked screen. Of course, there's a cracked camera lens in the back. Alright, so as you can see, the screen still works, but however, it's really hard to actually do the liquid process on. So what we got was a screen that original LG screen. It's OLED from Amazon. You can get it for about 100 to 150, and what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you guys how to replace the bad screen on LG Flex with a new one. Before we begin, let's go ahead and power down the phone, and all LG have the power button in the back. Hold it off, power. Alright, so now you have the phone power off. What you're going to do now is eject the SIM card using the SIM ejector. Let's go ahead and eject the SIM tray out. Put this in a safe place. Alright, so now using the pry tool, we're going to go ahead and lift it from the side. Lift off the back cover. And I always like to lead off with my fingernails first. Alright. It's a little difficult to get to, but once you get in there, you should be able to open it up using the pry tool. Okay. Use my fingernail again, all around. You guys can use the pry tool. I just have a better feel using my fingernails. Okay. Alright, so now what we got here, once we get this removed, okay, to the side, so what you have is the back of the phone. First thing we're going to do is take the back cover off. What you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver. Okay. Okay, so there are, the way LG screen works is it's divided into three parts before you get to the logic board: the cover, main cover, and then there's the back lid, and then you get to the logic board. Remove the logic board in order to get to the LCD. So we're doing away with some of these connectors here, and as soon as we can disable the battery, the better. This is a flexible OLED, so what we're going to do is actually test bend it to see how far it will unbend. And we might rebuild this screen to be used again, but for this video we're just going to replace it with a brand new LCD. Alright, there are a few clips that's holding it in place after you remove the screws. Okay, this is the power button, and that's the connector there. Let's go ahead and put this in a safe place. Okay, this is the battery connector. Go ahead and disable the battery connector. And this is the bottom data and charging module. Disable that. Okay, what you have here is the antenna, the Wi-Fi and cellular antenna. Pull that out. Okay, so what you have here, this is the camera, proximity sensor, and this is the SIM connector right here, and the touch SIM connector right over. Okay, so what we want to do is go ahead and lift this LCD out, the logic board out carefully. Take the camera off first. Took us out of this box, but we're going to go ahead and remove the touch sensor right here. Alright, try to keep it well intact. And now safely pull out the logic board. Okay, so now the phone itself and all the data and pictures are all on here. Let's keep it out of play. What we want to replace is strictly the LCD, and there's two connectors here. This is the LCD connector itself, and this is the touch. So let's go ahead and loosen it off. See if I can actually save it to reuse again. Right, so back here what we're going to do is we're going to apply some heat to this area. Okay, so what we need to do is apply heat around this corner, and we're going to lift it off. Using a heat gun, we'll go ahead and apply heat. I'm treating it carefully because I plan to reuse this LCD again to rebuild. Hopefully my next video is instruction on how to rebuild this. Alright, so the heat is actually loosening the glue, the adhesive that's holding the LCD and the frame together. Concentrate in one area first. Okay, I'm just going to check the bottom corner. Make sure there's enough heat to loosen up, but you don't want to burn the LCD in the process either. Okay. Now, using a razor, I'm going to lift it up. Pry tool. I'm going to run it around right here. Okay, and I'm going to put some wedges. Put some wedges in here. Okay, so create the space. Now I'm going to apply more heat. Okay, using my second tool here, I'm going to go ahead and lift up the glass from this side. Okay. Add more heat. Okay, bring it in this way. Be careful with the razor. Okay, I'm slowly removing it from the frame. Okay, once I get the majority of it. We'll go ahead and put another placeholder over here. Adding heat here. All right. Using a guitar pick, I'm running it down, lifting up the adhesive, and then I'm going to slowly lift up the digitizer along with the LCD. Be very careful not to damage the LCD in this process. Add heat if you must. Now I'm lifting it up completely. There's still a couple more adhesive in the bottom. Gotta be aware of. Running a picker to right there. LCD. You can see the LCD is still in great shape. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull this off carefully. Okay, now what you need to do is just lift off the LCD. Just go ahead and free this connector right here. Lift this up. Like this. Let's go ahead and separate the two connectors. Alright, so now the proximity sensor is put away, or the camera and the proximity sensor. Now let's go ahead and run this straight through. As you can see, you have a intact LCD that you can reuse, and it's flexible. Okay, so now what you have is this. Again, you got this border right here, which looks like it's part of the heat sink and antenna. And what we're going to do is remove this adhesive here from the phone itself, and then we'll reapply the SGX to it. Portion right here. We're going to remove as much as possible. And also find any glass that can be wedged in the broken pieces. Now that I have everything's clear, go ahead and apply the new screen onto it. Okay, so this is the new screen. Go ahead and peel the back off, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to put SGX around the edges. Using my SGX glue,
we're gonna go ahead, making sure not to block any holes for the microphone. We're just gonna apply SGX just in the corner right here. Use my finger to spread it. Some on the top, not making sure you don't block anything out. And this SGX seal is really good when it comes to flexibility and moisture resistant. It's made from silicone, but it's designed for smartphone and tablet application. Get it from my store on the bottom. Just click on the bottom below to get to my SGX store, my website. You can order it. It is 15 bucks. Okay, SGX there. Go ahead and get rid of any debris. Do a final debris check. No debris. Okay, no glass, no shard to get in the way. Go ahead and apply the new screen. So we're inserting it in this way. Okay. Running it through.
Uh-oh, look.
Running it
She's
through.
not alive. She's cold.
Yeah. Running it through. Okay, and so what we got here is full assembly. And alright, so now go ahead and turn this around and apply this over. Let's go ahead and put the logic board back in. We're going to test this out first. Make sure it works and respond before we completely assemble it. The first thing before we do that, let's go ahead and put all the top components. This is the speaker bracket right here that rests on top of here. Okay. Everything is situated right properly. Let's go ahead and put the proximity sensor and camera, front camera back in. And now put the logic board back into place. Okay. Connectors, cameras, proximity sensor, okay, the SGX is still on the other side. We are just simply testing it now. Now I'll show you how to adhere the SGX once the screen test turns out right. Let's go ahead and plug in the power port right here. And let's test the display first before we apply it completely. Powering up the phone. Alright, so we can go ahead and test the touch first. See the touch work. Let's go ahead and start the assembly of the phone. Power this back down. Alright, what we need to do now, we know that this touch works, is to put all the other components, say for the battery, connectors here. Let's put the camera and proximity sensor back into place. So let's go ahead and put the proximity sensor cover on here, on this connector, like so. Okay, insert it back into slot right here. All right. Now this is the headphone jack right here. Okay, and that headphone jack belongs right here. Headphone and microphone. Insert it into place. Get everything back in here. Lift all the connectors up. Free the antenna cables. Let's go ahead and insert the logic board back in. Okay. Put it back into place. Let's go ahead and slide it into the proximity sensor location. Okay. Now go ahead and replace the logic board into here. Everything's nice and snug. All the brackets in place. Connectors are in. Put the data cable in. Battery back on. The LCD cable back on. The touch digitizer. Place that back on here. Okay, and then go ahead and put the antenna flex back in. Antenna cable. Okay, and the other antenna cable. All right. Go ahead and put the camera back on. Backward facing camera. Go ahead and clean it off a little bit. I know the glass was broken on this one, but the customer didn't really request it repaired, so just clean off the camera. And then let's go ahead and put this back into place. Power connector on. And then just go ahead and replace the screws. Alright, so let's go ahead and put all the brackets back into place. Alright. Let's go ahead and put the screws back on. And I already powered up so you can actually see it's being powered up. Okay, once you get the screw into place, what we're going to do is replace the back cover. We'll clean it off a little bit and with electronic alcohol, and then we're going to place the back cover, and then I'll show you how to keep the SGX glued while we work on this curing. The SGX takes about 2 hours to cure, and it's a workable adhesive. I use it in all of my LCD repair, and one bottle will last you pretty much half a year. If you have a repair shop, it should last you a long time depending on how much workload you have. It lasts me 2 or 3 months because we do get a lot of devices coming in here, and you can never go wrong with that investment. It's probably the best investment you're going to make. getting the SGX glue again, and it's the link below. Okay, so now all this is in place. We're going to go ahead and test the screen again real quick. Make sure the touch respond, everything respond. Alright, so we're going to clean this off. Using 99.9% alcohol, I'm going to go ahead wash off any stain that this repair could have caused. Okay, now I want to put the back cover back on. And snap it on carefully. Alright, place the SIM back into place. SIM back into the SIM slot right here. Set it back in. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is tape the screen back on. I'm using Scotch tape to hold the, this is a flex screen, so what I'm doing, turn off the screen real quick. Alright, I'm using the tape here to make sure it's flush. I'm using clear Scotch, going to all corners. Okay, so now let's review it. So the SGX is now, with Scotch tape, is adhering the screen flush to the curvature of this phone. Everything is nice and curved and covered. And if there's any lip, all you have to do is use the Scotch tape here and then just apply it downward. Okay, so there should be no lip at all. Perfect. And we'll be back in about 20 minutes to show you the complete screen. On video, man. Hold on a second. Alright, so this is after 20 minutes. You can take a look. Screen's perfect now. Everything is flush. See right here, everything is completely flush. This is Prac with iRepairMD. Safe repair.